Firstly, the title is Cinema Czar Karan Johar on Ruling Bollywood. Does Karan Johar rule Bollywood? I've heard of, there was time Shah Rukh Khan is the king of Bollywood. Amir said, if Shah Rukh is the king, I am the A. Salman said, guys, I don't care. But honestly speaking, Karan, aren't you the king of Bollywood today, of Hindi cinema?
Oh my God, not at all. I don't think there is any. I think the only king today in Bollywood, if you can call it that, is content. I think all of us are just surviving on the basis of that, if at all. Content is truly the king in Bollywood. There is no other king. There is no other queen. There are no rulers. It's just good cinema, good content that really defines what we stand for today. I think anyone who believes that they're above content are in denial and are going through a bout of delusion. And I think they must be aware that nothing precedes a really good film.
Having said that, you started off as a filmmaker. Aditya Chopra, your dear friend, literally forced you to be a filmmaker. Today's day and age, Dharma Productions is bigger than YRF. You're doing a Netflix deal, you're on TV, you're hosting shows, working with Ranbir Kapoor to Ranveer Singh, launching Varun, Alia, all these newcomers. I mean, isn't that the truth? Business-wise, would you say you have the biggest production house right now in the country? Most influential person too?
We just released a film a couple of months ago that was a global disaster. Yeah. So it really was quite a setback for us. So on the foot of that you're saying these kind of things, I don't think there's any such thing as anyone larger than another studio. I think everyone's doing their bit. In fact, this particular year really has shown that all the major event films, the big ticket films, have truly not proved their worth.
Yes.
But there are films like Uri and Kabir Singh and now with Dream Girl and Chichore and everything performing so outstandingly at the box office. It's no longer about the big names, the big movie stars, the big setups that are really attracting footfalls. It's strong content. It's the empowerment of the writer. I think that they truly are the powerhouses. Not a Dharma, not Yash Raj, not Fox, not Sony, not studios. Writers are the strongest force today in cinema. What they create, what they put out there, and how they put out there. And finally, I'm so glad that we are an industry that is acknowledging the writers. And I think that's happened largely because of the digital revolution. They've empowered writers, and now writers are that much more confident and putting out some great stuff even in cinema.
I'm glad you said that. So you believe the age of the superstar is over, is it? Because Shah Rukh, your dear friend, we see him struggling at the box office. And I was in conversation with Mr. Bachchan once, and I asked him, leading man, when you can't play the leading man anymore because of age, is it difficult for you to move on? He said, nahi, samjhauta karna padta hai apne aap se aapko. Well, where do you see him going from here? Like somebody like a Shah Rukh Khan.
He's a terrific actor. He's a mega star and an outstanding actor. And I think that, everyone, like I just spoke about a failure we had, and maybe he's had, a few films that may have underperformed. But you can't grab the fact that he represents superstardom in so many different ways. He has a majestic aura about him, and every time you say superstardom, you think Shah Rukh Khan. And that is never going to be grabbed away from him. And everything that he ever touches and does, it's always going to create that kind of noise level. And he's taken a year off only to analyze his situation. And when he does come back with a film, it's going to be the talking point of the industry, fraternity, and audience space all over again. So you can't erase somebody's lineage, somebody's talent by a few setbacks. It's not possible.
Not at all.
He's way above it.
Not at all. But as I was asking, the superstardom, is that now not going to play a role?
I don't think anyone should consider themselves a superstar. Suddenly, today, the audience is that superstar. The writers are the superstars. Content is the superstar. It's no longer about, just because you are a big name, either as a producer, director, or as a star, it doesn't guarantee any success.
Right.
Finally, I think the audience is smart enough, is much more discerning, and it's out there to prove their mettle. You don't have to prove anything. They will come to you if you give them a solid product. They are not going to be swept by a campaign, a strategy, a cheat trailer, an item song. None of that is working. It's only the film. And if we give failures, that means there's something wrong with the film in itself. So we can never think that an audience was wrong. An audience is never wrong. The consumer is king and will remain.
Let's talk about power play then, because this is about being the cinema czar. I'm going to show you one picture. It's going to bring back a little bit of, some memories for you. It's a picture of you, Akshay Kumar, and Salman Khan. All of you together when you started off. Then Salman dropped out of that project. Now we see release date wars between Akshay and Salman. Salman saying, I'm going to release on Eid. Akshay has already announced that he's got Eid in 2020, Christmas on 2020, Diwali on 2020, right? And now Salman is probably going to announce something in the next week. Clear power play wars for release dates within these supers. How do you look at it? And especially being the guy who's on good terms with everyone.
The thing is that in my entire career, I've tried and avoided coming with another film, only because I think that there used to be a time and age in cinema when that happened, and it was never made a big deal of. Because it's the media sometimes, and look, I'm a member of the media myself. I have a talk show, so that makes me a member. And I say that from my own fraternity, that sometimes what's said and written, these media, these wars, clashes, clash, war, these words are negative. They have a negative connotation. It's never like that. Sometimes a big festival, a big period can actually absorb even more than 2 films if it's strategized efficiently, if everyone is given their equal screen space. It's when people start writing about it, it seems like it's a clash, it's a war. It's never that. Do you know, when I released my very first film, it was Diwali. It released with a film called Bade Miyan Chote Miyan, and Kuch Kuch Hota released same time. There was no problem. They were both big films. They both had very amicable releases. Both of us went to each other's screenings, wished each other well, and both films performed well. Dil and Ghayal have released on the same day. Lagan and Gaddar have released on the same day. There is no problem with 2 films coming on the same day. But when people start making it seem negative, it seems like there is a war, there's a clash, there's some bad blood. There isn't any. Salman Khan and Akshay Kumar are bona fide movie stars. They can both come on the same date and both have equally successful films. I don't see a problem.
There were problems. Why I ask you is this. There were problems between you and Ajay when Ae Dil Hai Mushkil and Shivai released. Ajay and YRF, when those films released?
Well, I think at that point of time, and you know, there was a lot said because there was a certain amount of relationship discord there. But I think that I myself have solemnly resolved that, and I've spoken to Ajay and Kajal, and you know, everything is great now and things are absolutely wonderful. I will try and avoid my level best. If you notice in my repertoire of work, there's only once that I've clashed with somebody else. We've never tried, because I always believe that it's best to kind of not go into that media zone. But sometimes if it's not avoidable and it's something that you cannot avoid, then you will have to. Yes, there was that one juncture between Shivai and Ae Dil, and I don't look at that part of my life very pleasantly because I feel like it didn't make me feel good, and I would never want to do that because Kajal is somebody I've known for now 3 decades, and there's no way that I would ever put her in that situation or put myself in that situation again.
Right, so Shah Rukh has taken a year off and there's no problem between Akshay and Salman, according to?
There is no problem. There is no problem, and they will both endorse this, say this. In fact, I've been there when both of them have spoken very highly of each other, always. There's a lot of respect, mutual love and admiration that the two of them have, and I'm sure this Eid, with both the releases, will be a solid Eid for the fraternity.
Okay, talking about you, Karan, you know, why I was so excited is because I never liked Karan Johar movies growing up. I mean, everybody was crazy about Karan Johar movies. I thought they were overtly dramatic, they were suffocating, fake emotions, forced emotions. But then I sent you my review of Ae Dil Hai Mushkil. But I started off it like that, but I really loved that film. And I thought you really came into your own with that movie. Your journey in the industry, you know, why is there I always wanted to ask you, why has there been so much crying in your films? I mean, you watch Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum, it's like one emotional roller coaster after the other.
Look, I have always been a very melodramatic person. That's something that's in my DNA. I can't help myself. In fact, that's the first time Aditya Chopra told me that how can you not be making movies? You're more than dramatic. You're a drama queen in various ways. The only thing you don't have is an interval in you. And that's the one thing that you don't have. But other than that, you're made to make Indian movies. I love a good cry. I love everything that's over the top. I like opulence. I'm unapologetically and unabashedly in love with what Indian cinema stands for. And I've grown up watching that kind of cinema. So every time I feel like I need to push the button and press all the triggers where it comes to heartstrings, I do it. I do it in my way. I've tried to update my syntax over a course of time. But that core Hindi film lover that lies in me, that dramatic Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum filmmaker hasn't left me. It's still very much part of my filmmaker DNA. And so I know you may have hated that there are a lot of people who don't like my cinema, and there's some who love it. And I actually agree with both. because I understand why people would diss the cinema and diss what I stand for, and I appreciate those who love it as well. I understand. I'm also somebody who's constantly trying to be relevant in this day and age and trying to kind of update. Like, I'm glad Edil resonated with you, but there are several who the film didn't work for at all. And there were polarized responses. But that particular film was a piece of my broken heart. Yeah. And it was a love story that I had embedded in my heart, and I needed to tell that story. So if you ask me, which is my most pleasurable filmmaking experience, it was Edil Mushkil, because I wrote it like that. At the end of the day, I said, I want to do with these characters. Everyone says Ranbir's a crybaby. Why is he, he's so rich, he's so wealthy, he has a private jet, and he's crying. I'm like, emotions, don't come with a balance sheet. Like, you could be the wealthiest person in this world and you could be sad from within. It's okay to tell a story of a rich, sad man. It's fine. I did it and I'm not apologizing for it at all.
Rich, sad man. I mean, that was sort of, you wrote that film yourself and you got out of that phase, you write in your book. You also wrote in your book that if I was to talk about my sexuality, I would have to deal with FIRs. Article 377 is gone now.
I think the morning that I woke up, and I know there was an entire movement that worked towards the abolishment of Article 377, I just woke up and I cried. I cried for the community. I cried for the fact that there was finally freedom, there was one love and equal love for our great country. Too has supported this. I think it was a very, very historic movement, an historic judgment. And I'm just glad that it's accepted legally now and that everyone is free to love who they wish and who they desire to without any legal pressure on them. I think it truly is. That particular day was the 6th of September, ironically my father's birthday, and I felt within me and from the community, I felt freedom.
Okay, and we just did a story on India Today, talking about that, okay, legally it's fine. Still, acceptability, there are issues. More than half the the population do not agree with same-sex relationships. Well, how do you think acceptance will?
I think over a period of time, and I think with the emergence of so much information to do with sexuality, whether it's via cinema, via literature, via reported information, I think I'm not expecting that change to be sudden, but it's gradual and it's consistent and it's happening over a period of time. Today, if you look at even cinema, you have films that are openly talking about it and are being accepted and being viewed. Yes, it might meet with opposition. It's all very well to be an outsider to it and say it's great, it's cool, I'm accepting it. Those families that go through it will take their course of time to deal with it, and one has to kind of constantly keep that information flowing. Because I firmly believe that this will happen. And I'm hoping that the next step is that gay marriages are allowed in our country, and that is the next step that I hope for, I aspire for. As an Indian, as a human being on a humanitarian level, I hope that happens too very soon.
There was this clip of your party, Karan, that I just showed Vicky. You want to refresh your memory and see it? What happened there? Got into a little trouble with the party clip?
Apparently you're not allowed to scratch your nose. Apparently you're not about to hide. You're supposed to be hiding something when actually it's a phone charger. And apparently you're not supposed to just mingle with a group of friends and have a really chilled out evening. And apparently if a group of Bollywood is in a room, then you're obviously doing drugs. That is the ridiculousness of what happened as a result of that video. Would I be stupid in bright lights to put out a video of a group of friends if there was a consumption of any medical substance? My house and where I stay, and everybody who's visited my house, my mother lives on the same level as that particular drawing room. She was with us, sitting. She had dinner with us. We were chatting. It was that kind of evening. She went back, and then this video was taken. And after that, there was this big uproar on social media. And I was really angered with the kind of responses that were coming in. And then I was amused at how ridiculous it is. A group of friends, and you can see that, people were analyzing ridiculous things. Any marble has white streaks on it. That is not meant to be a substance. That is how marble is. Should I change the way marble is made so that people perceive it differently? And poor Vicky, coming out of a bout of dengue, he scratched his nose. And that went into a tiz. It's ridiculous. And I've said that the next time there are people who make these allegations, baseless allegations and accusations, we will deal with that very strictly and on legal grounds if need be, because this will not be tolerated again.
Okay, talking about your home, I love the shoes, by the way, if you can get a shot of the shoes. And he's got an insane collection of shoes. Insane. You just told us that you slept in your closet a little while back. What happened there?
That you make me sound like a really strange, frivolous person. I was my air conditioning conked off, and my closet has adequate air conditioning, so I went back into my closet and slept.
Nice.
Pun not intended.
Closet has air conditioning, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, and talk about your kids, man. I mean, you're a father, and I love the two of them.
Yeah.
We're going to just show you a slideshow as well, but talk to me about being a father, how it's changed your life.
You know, initially, I remember when I held my babies, it was a feeling of, like I couldn't explain and understand what I was going through because I couldn't believe that there were extensions of myself that were there, physically in flesh and blood. And then over a period of time, I realized that actually I've never had a love story in my life. I've made many. I've never been in a successful relationship, or not in very many actually. It's always been tough. Love has always kind of missed me in some way. And then there was Yash and Ruhi, and I felt like this is my big love story. Like when I hold them and they say, Dada, don't go, or Dada, I love you. And I'm like, every time I go through like a melting reaction, like I cannot believe they're mine, and I have 2 children that I can hold, own, love unconditionally. It's really a love story that doesn't compare to anything else that's ever happened in my life.
It's amazing. I mean, looking at the picture right now, this is an old picture.
This is an old, this is when they were still 9.
You're very young. Yeah, this is the one. You were telling us about parenting, that you let them do whatever they want to do.
You know, I realize that we say the most ridiculous things sometimes without meaning it. We get politically incorrect with our children. And as young parents, I'm not young anymore, but my advice to everybody is that we tend to say things like, oh, don't, like I stopped somebody in the house and saying, why are you crying, Yash? Don't cry like a girl. That's ridiculous. Why should you say that? Crying is not just a woman's prerogative. It should also be a man's prerogative. He must be, let him cry. He can wear pink. Why stop him from wearing pink? Why should the girl always get the doll and the boy should always get the car? These are ridiculous things that we do to our children. We put things into boxes. And then we realize that it's impacting the DNA of the man in several ways because we've said these things in their growing years. The only way to have a healthy community of men and women is you do it from the start. You say the right things, or rather you don't say anything at all. You let them breathe freely, and you let them just be the person that they're going to turn out to be. Whether they're straight or gay or they tilt towards any sexuality, that's their prerogative and their choice. You cannot divert them into directions because of yourself as parents.
Right.
And I think that's very critical, that all parents must understand that children are very impressionable and things you say to them really matter and they go into their grey matter. And that's something that you need to kind of always worry about.
Straight from the heart, and on that note, the best part of this conversation, rapid fire with Mr. Rapid Fire. Are you ready, sir?
Oh, God.
Huh?
Okay.
Okay.
What do I get at the end of it?
You get a huge round of applause by the audience if you do well, right?
Okay.
Ready? Who's the better actor? Okay. And I want answers, huh? Karan, no diplomacy now. Better actor, Shah Rukh Khan or Kajol?
Shah Rukh Khan.
Shah Rukh Khan is the better actor. Okay, nice. Who's the most attractive man in the industry right now and all time?
Who is the most attractive man in the industry?
As of now and all time.
Shah Rukh Khan.
Shah Rukh Khan. Okay, and the most attractive woman in the industry? As of now and all time?
Aishwarya Rai.
Aishwarya Rai, okay. If you could transform into someone whose personality and appearance you could take, it's yours. A man or a woman, who would you like to be? Don't say Shah Rukh Khan.
If I could transform into someone, firstly, it's very difficult to transform into somebody else. Even in your head, you admire them, so you don't want to transform. But I really want to be Meryl Streep for one day.
Meryl Streep?
Yeah.
Amazing.
I mean, I just want to get into her head. And I just want to be that brilliance for just one day. If I can just acquire her brilliance for one day, I'll have reached some kind of nirvana.
No doubt. Greatest actor of all time. Okay. Rank in order. Best to worst actress. This is what you do. Deepika, Kangana, Priyanka, Kareena. Deepika, Kangana, Priyanka, and Kareena. Best to worst actress. Let's see.
Deepika, what did you say?
Deepika, Kangana, Priyanka, and Kareena.
Okay, I'm going to go with... It's tough because I think there are 3 actors that are on an equal level. Actually, all of them, very interesting choice of actresses. I'm going to say Deepika and Kareena on one and Priyanka and Kangana on two.
All right. Ranveer Singh or Ranbir Kapoor, the better actor?
You ain't getting an answer.
Why? You're working with both. Come on.
All right, you don't choose between such incredible talents. I already told you that I think my all-time favorite actor is Shah Rukh Khan. So I want to say that great.
This is not fair.
Great, absolutely great. Continuing the legacy, great talent with Ranveer and Ranveer. It's just a difference of one alphabet in terms of how you look at it.
I know, but who's your favorite?
I'm working with both.
Great.
So, I mean, I don't want to choose between two fantastic actors.
Shah Rukh, Salman, Amir. Better actor, rank in order.
Shah Rukh, Amir, Salman.
Shah Rukh, Amir, Salman. Okay. Madhuri or Sridevi, the better actor?
I've always been an eternal Sridevi fan.
Sridevi?
And I love Madhuri to dying death, but Sridevi has always been my all-time favorite actor.
Amitabh Bachchan or Dilip Kumar?
Amitabh Bachchan.
Okay. The sexiest thing about you?
My availability.
Availability. What turns you on?
Access.
Amazing. From the film industry, who would you like to have a steamy affair with?
You.
I am not from the film industry.
You are. You've just asked me only filmy questions that makes you a member of the industry.
No, I'm
not.
not.
Who would I like to have an affair with? No, I wouldn't want to date anyone from the industry because all of them are two of them.
If you were an ad guru, what tagline would you give Karan Johar?
He came.
All right.
He didn't see, he didn't conquer, he just came.
Okay. If you have to do away with one of the following, your pouch selfie, gossip, or designer clothes, what can you do away with?
I can do it with gossip. It comes to me, I don't ever chase it.
Gossip, huh? Okay, the first thing you would do if you woke up as one, Narendra Modi.
I would just keep doing what I'm doing because I'm doing it brilliantly.
Nice. Kangana Ranaut. If you woke up as Kangana.
I would be the great actor I am and just focus on that, acting.
Acting, nice. Virat Kohli.
I would lead the way I am. I'm leading the way to great cricket.
Mr. Arun Puri, chairperson, India Today.
Well, he's the czar he's a media baron, and I would continue just honest reportage without any kind of frills and fancies.
Nice. Your dear friend in the photo, Salman Khan.
Woke up as Salman, I would rule the way I'm ruling. And with the crown steadily on my forehead as the biggest mainstream superstar.
Last one, your another dear friend in the picture, Akshay Kumar.
Well, I would just make sure that I keep making the money I'm making. And I would just be very grateful to Forbes for acknowledging it.
Does he deserve that round of applause, guys? Nice. Okay. I am really looking forward to Takht because you've been this lovey-dovey filmmaker with the emotions and the buckets of, tears. Now there's going to be this violent streak. There's going to be brother versus brother, war, Vicky versus Ranveer. There already talks about how the script, Ranveer is not happy. Vicky has the better role. He's playing Aurangzeb, which is an amazing character.
It's absolutely ridiculous, all that. I don't know where people come up with stories. It's an ambitious film. It's something I've never, kind of ever dabbled in before. Very excited to tell the story of Dara, Shuko, and Aurangzeb. And it is an exciting journey, and it's an exciting world. It's, of course, a film of two ideologies, and I just hope that finally it resonates. And what deeply impacted me was the fact that how relevant the narrative is even today.
Congratulations, by the way, on the Emmy nomination. If you guys don't know already, Last Story's got nomination, International Emmy. Talk to me about that. And you've got a big deal with Netflix coming up. You are everywhere. TV pe dekho Karan hai, commercials, India Today, everywhere.
I'm like that aloo, no? You put everywhere. And it tastes good. Thank you. Last Story has got nominated at the International Emmys. Big achievement for all of us. We're really excited. We got the news yesterday in the evening. It's an anthology that Dibakar, Zoya, Anurag, and me kind of started with Bombay Talkies going into Lust, and now we're doing ghost stories. It's great that something that we do as an expression of our creativity is actually creating its own stir. Netflix is a supreme partner for us in our digital company Dharmatic. We have an exclusive deal with them to provide original feature films and web series, and it's an exciting new terrain that we hope to provide great content for.
Finally, Karan, final question. How do you stay relevant? I mean, what do you read? What do you watch? You're doing so many deals.
I believe, and that's not just for me, it's for anybody out there. I think the only way to stay relevant is to constantly acknowledge the brilliance of others. The only way that you can up your game is if you establish what game other people are playing and how brilliantly they're playing it. If you acknowledge it, you kind of envelop it, and you own that fact, you will always be on top of the game.
He is on the top of the game, ladies and gentlemen. Put your hands together for Karan Johar.
Thank you.